The Euros are great, even if they are a BTEC World Cup. But every country will have different reasons why they love the competition, so today I'm going to go through each nation's greatest Euros moment. Germany. 3-time winners. They've got countless great memories of the competition, and especially since they're hosting it this year, I don't think anyone would be very surprised to see them win a fourth. To pick a particular moment, I'd say Oliver Bierhoff winning in 1996 by golden goal, or I'm not even going to try and pronounce that, but he scored in the last minute to beat Belgium in the 1980 final. Scotland. Having only qualified 3 times, they've only won twice in the competition, with a 3-0 win against Russia in 1992 and Switzerland in 96. They also drew 0-0 with England in 2020. Some may say that's their best moment. I'll leave it to a Scot to decide. Hungary. Once a football superpower, Hungary's greatest footballing success was in the 1950s, but the Euros didn't exist until 1960, so they missed out on potentially winning it. They reached the semis in 1964 and won the 3rd place playoff against Denmark. That's their best performance at the tournament. They also reached the semis in 1972, coming 4th. Switzerland. A country who have only made it out of the group stage twice, but amazingly beat France in a round of 16 in 2020 with a dramatic penalty shootout. They eventually lost to Spain in the quarters with another penalty shootout. And when I say 2020, obviously I mean 2021, but it's still called Euros 2020. Spain. 3-time winners, 1964 and winning back-to-back 2008 and 2012. Spain have many good memories of this tournament. Perhaps the best is beating Italy 4-0 in the final to make it back-to-back. They didn't just beat Italy, they tore them apart. Croatia. Before 92, they existed as Yugoslavia, who came second in 1960 and 1968, and they reached the semis in 1976. But as an independent nation, their best moment was probably Suker's chip against Denmark to put them through to the quarters in their first ever Euros in 96. They got there once more in 2008, but they lost in a dramatic and iconic game after they went 1-0 up in the 119th minute but ended up losing in a penalty shootout. Italy. 2-time winners, once in 68 against Yugoslavia, but their best moment was probably winning Euro 2020 in Wembley against England. An iconic moment would be their Germany win in 2020, as it was so unexpected. Albania. They've only appeared at 1 European Championships, and that was in 2016, their first ever tournament. They beat Romania in the groups 1-0, so that was probably their best moment. Slovenia. Another team who were part of Yugoslavia, so have only been competing since 1992. They have 1 appearance in Euro 2000, but ironically they drew with Yugoslavia, who were only Serbia and Montenegro at this point. Denmark. I'm sure you've all heard the story, but Denmark are actually holders of the trophy, as they were champions in 1992 without even qualifying. This was because Yugoslavia were banned due to the wars in their country, so Denmark took their place and won without their star man Michael Laudrup, as he had fallen out with manager Richard Moller Nilsson. Yeah, that's definitely not how you say it. Serbia. Again, a former part of Yugoslavia, they reached the final, but in modern times this is their first qualification as an independent nation. England. England's best memory definitely won't be 2020, but their best Euros performance was. The best moment is probably beating Germany at Wembley in the round of 16, or potentially beating Spain in the quarters in Euro 1996, which was in England. Netherlands. Winning in 1988 in Germany, their biggest rival, with Van Basten's iconic volley. Hard to get a better moment than that. I can't say Coleman had a great moment though. France. 2-time winners, they won in 2000 by golden goal, but their best moment was probably Platini winning it for them in 1984, as it was their first ever trophy. Platini scored a 119th minute winner in the semi-final extra time to get them there. Poland. Their best performance was reaching the quarters in 2016, beating Switzerland in round of 16 on pens and losing to Portugal in the quarters on penalties again, and they eventually won the tournament. This was their only time out of the group stage. Austria. Austria will make their 4th appearance at the Euros in 2024, having only made it out of the group stage once in 2020, where they lost to the eventual winners Italy in the round of 16 after extra time. Ukraine. With 3 appearances at the tournament, Ukraine did well to reach the quarters in 2020, beating Sweden in extra time in a round of 16 with an 121st minute Dobrik winner. Slovakia. Playing under Czechoslovakia until 1992, they actually won the tournament in 1976 thanks to the famous Panenka penalty. As an independent nation, they have 2 appearances, reaching a round of 16 in 2016, where they beat Russia in the groups. They might say beating Poland in 2020 was their best moment. Belgium. Belgium were runners-up in 1980, losing to West Germany in the final. They also came third in 1972. Romania. They only have 1 experience making it out of the groups, where they reached the quarters in 2000, beating England in the last game of the group stage to get through ahead of them. Portugal. Obviously their best moment was winning in 2016, somehow without Ronaldo, and they did this by only winning 1 game without extra time in the whole tournament. Czechia. Again, they won as part of Czechoslovakia in 1976, but in their first tournament, 1996, they got to the final, heartbreakingly losing to Germany by golden goal. Georgia. Their first ever qualification for an international tournament is this year, but Georgia did win the Euros as part of the Soviet Union in 1960. They came second in 64 and 72. But I know Georgia are not a fan of Russia, so I doubt they'll be a fan of the Soviet Union. Turkey. Turkey reached the semis in 2008 after an iconic quarter-final against Croatia, which I already mentioned in this video. After Croatia made it 1-0 in the 119th minute, Turkey equalised in the 121st minute and went on to win on penalties. They lost to Germany in the semis to a 90th minute winner.